Hello. We are back. We're back. Welcome to FPL Mate once again. And yeah, it's deadline time. Yes, we were streaming earlier. Hello again to anyone who joined for the stream earlier this afternoon. We went through a lot of team news and stuff like that. We will still cover some of that. But it is time for the official deadline stream. We've got 1.5 hours until the Gameweek 36 FPL deadline. And yeah, let's wrap things up, I suppose, before the well, someone actually told me this. What's obviously the second to last game week would be the penultimate game week. What's the third to last game week? What is the word for that? Someone must know. Gavlash says pronunciation time. Yeah, I did promise in earlier stream that we can talk about some football players and how you pronounce their names today, because there was a bit of discussion about that earlier, which was a bit of fun, bit of a laugh. We're going to be doing all the usual stuff today, though. We'll do the bench list. I think the bench list is probably going to be much needed this week, to be honest. And then, obviously, we'll talk about captains. We're going to talk about some defenders. We're going to talk again about some of the players who may or may not be available, all the press conference news. I've got all of the notes for press conferences now, so we can go through literally everything, which is good. Any members in the chat? I can see we've got Mark here. Mark says, "Hey Dan, how are you, mate?" Not bad. A little bit tired, but we'll go again. Anti-penultimate. There you go. Thank you very much, chat. Always know stuff. Yeah, a bit tired, a bit knackered, but honestly, I swear, it's been a long season, to be honest. I'm actually quite looking forward to having a little bit of a break, really. Plus, we've got some exciting stuff planned for next season as well, which I'm looking forward to. And we've got Euros content, which will be a nice breath of fresh air Euros fantasy, which I'll be playing. I don't know if you guys will be playing Euros fantasy, but I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. It's like I don't know. It's like it scratches the fantasy itch a little bit for a few weeks. You know, I have to take it as seriously. I think it's a little bit easier actually if you know your stuff. Because a lot of people just kind of pick the players they know and miss out on maybe some key differentials, which would be it's always kind of fun to hunt down those international differentials as well. Orange squash today, guys. We're on the orange squash. Ricardo says, "I just joined. Any last minute changes I missed? Changes to what, Ricardo? Let me know what you mean by that." Mark says, "What do you do for content when the season ends?" Not very much. No, we do different stuff during the off season. This year we'll be doing Euro fantasy content, which will be fun. Hopefully, a few of you guys will be looking to get involved in that as well. But also do other kind of more chilled stuff like price predictions for the new season, position change predictions, kind of maybe some reviewing stuff of how last season went and stuff and how we can improve. And yeah, kind of stuff like that. Predicting rule changes or talking about potential rule changes or changes to the game. Just general discussion stuff. Any last minute changes to the team, says Ricardo. What team? To my team? No changes to my team. Depends when you last saw my team. Why are you following along with my team? We've got a show team gang member here. Always good to know. Vacation, yes, of course. Well, I'll probably go away for a couple of days, but I don't think there's going to be too much time for vacationing this year because of the Euros. The Euros starts 3 weeks after FPL ends. It's 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. Maybe I should have a look at the days. It's not that long. It's maybe 3.5, 4 weeks though. It's not too long. Ricardo has just admitted that he is copying my team. Well, okay, good to know. Ricardo, how have you managed to copy my team? Did you find it on Twitter last game week? Because the team I posted last week in the team selections video, I didn't actually end up going with. I actually ended up making a couple of changes. So unfortunately for you, any plans to copy my team for the rest of the season, you might find yourself a little bit disappointed on that one. Samuel says what to do with Bruno Fernandes with the yellow flag. Keep him. We'll do a bench list, and I'm sure Bruno will be one of the key names on the bench list today, but I definitely don't think Bruno is a sell. Actually did see some pictures of him before I started the stream today, whereby we saw Bruno, he's walking around Manchester seemingly fine, but his wrist is kind of in a cast. So I wonder if Bruno's injury is nothing to do with his legs, which is a good thing, and is more to do with maybe, I don't know if he's broken his wrist or something like that. If so, is it going to be a case of, all right, we need to let him heal a little bit before we let him back on the football pitch, or can they, I don't know, bandage it up, protect it enough to kind of sort that out? Vizza with the super chat says, need to remove Share, thinking Edison to Pickford to free City space and Share to Guardiola, or Son to KDB and play Dallo instead of Share. Okay, right. What I would definitely say, I would say this straight off the bat. I was actually thinking about this afternoon because I knew a lot of you guys were going to ask about defenders and stuff like that. If you have 3 available defenders, I think you probably just play them. Like players like Fabian Schär, Eddie Howe has said he's probably out for the season, but we know Eddie Howe doesn't always tell the truth. And 1 week of more information on Fabian Schär could actually be quite useful, particularly when you think, you know, any defender switch you make, you're just going to be trading 1 2-pointer defender for another 2-pointer defender. So is it really worth making a transfer? Can you roll the transfer instead? So players like Schär, players like Gusto, players like Ait Nori, if you're worried about them not playing, just bench them. If you've got 3 playing players, I think that's going to be good enough. I don't think you need to force transfers necessarily to, you know, like I say, defenders, all you're doing really is replacing injured 2-point players for non-injured 2-point players. And if it turns out that the 2-point players who are injured now might be okay next game week, then it's a pointless transfer. And you may as well save your transfer or focus it on another area of the pitch where there's more upside, there's more potential to grab more points. You know, for example, if you have the opportunity to bring in Phil Foden, if you don't have him already, or you want to go for De Bruyne, I think it's going to be mostly Man City players, to be fair. If you want to improve your attack, maybe you need to get Isak in your team, or you want to get Nicholas Jackson in your team. Then again, those are the kind of transfers I would prefer to make. You know, a Solanke or a Darwin out for one of those guys, for one of those forwards. Or if you've got like a Luis Diaz to Foden. These kind of moves I would much rather make than, you know, just make a trade on a injured defender when you could just bench that injured defender. Now, if you've got 3 injured defenders, you can't even field 3 defenders this week, then it's going to be a slightly different situation, and you might be forced to make a move in order to get 11 playing players out on the field. But in general, I know it's tempting. It seems obvious to transfer out injured players, but particularly like Van Hecker, we don't have any official quote on his injury. Gusto, the press conference was embargoed. We don't even know what the situation is with Gusto. It could be that Gusto's actually going to be fine for the double game week. Fabian Schär, I think, is less likely he's going to be available, but, you know, still, there's a chance that he is back next week. Small chance, but a chance nonetheless. Can't even think what other defenders are. Like players like Udogie, yeah, you sell him. Udogie, you sell. Bradley, you sell. These are players you definitely do sell, because you know for a fact that they're not going to feature anywhere near enough between now and the end of the season. You know, Doggie's ruled out for the season. Bradley's may get some minutes, but, you know, with Trent back, we're not going to see too much from Bradley. These kind of players, yeah, go. Sell them. So there we go. Jeeves says, cheers. You actually reply without reading the question. Oh, yes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, to be fair, I think a lot of people are in the same boat with having those injured defenders in their team. A lot of people are in the same situation. And I think because so many people are in that situation, you have an opportunity here. Because while so many people will focus their transfers on trading low points potential defenders for other low points potential defenders, if you can have the patience on them, you can actually turn this disadvantage into an advantage and do something that other people won't be doing, which I think is the smart play. I think it's that, you know, there's not too many edges left in FPL, and how you deal with bad situations, particularly if everyone is or a lot of people are suffering from the same bad situations, you can find an edge there. And I think that's a real nice opportunity. Anyone asking me, by the way, if Bruno is going to play or not, I can't tell you for sure. All I can tell you is the injury news we have. Maybe we go through the press conference stuff again, and then we'll continue with some polls, some bench lists and stuff like that. If that sounds good with you guys. Yeah, let's go get it. And those of you who are trying to follow along, copying the team for the season, well, This is where I'm at the moment. Nothing is locked in until deadline, of course. But yeah, this is where I am at. I don't think I'll make any changes now. I don't think. And unless something crazy happens in the next hour and a half, I don't think I'm going to change anything. So there we go. Aiden says, can you do some captain polls? I think we definitely can. Who are the main captain candidates for this week, would you say? Haaland, Palmer, Isak, and then maybe Foden or De Bruyne. We could maybe put Foden and De Bruyne as a combined one. Put them together. I think all of those players are, definitely players you can captain. Who is your... Okay, so I'm writing the poll now, guys. Who is your Gameweek36 captain? And the options I'll put, like I say, Haaland, Palmer, put Isak in there. And we'll stick Foden and De Bruyne together. Let's see where you guys are at with this. It's a Palmer. It's a Haaland captain week, really, though. If we're totally honest, I think Foden is a viable captain, yes, but it seems pretty obvious to go for Haaland. And I know, and this is another point, by the way. I know a lot of people will be thinking, okay, I'm not happy with my rank at the moment. I'm gonna go differential with my captain. I'm gonna go for someone slightly different this week. Some people say Saka captain as well. Really? Havertz? No, I don't know if I'd go there personally, but fair enough. No, I was going to say it's interesting because so many people will be looking to go different between now and the end of the season. The template captain this week, the template captain is Haaland, is not actually going to be as strongly template as he perhaps would be in a previous game week. I mean, if this was game week 1 or 2 or 3, then 90% of people will be going for Haaland. But we can already see by the poll, Haaland is at 64% currently. So it just goes to show that even the main captain choice still can give you an edge at this stage of the season. Any player can give you an edge, because what you're going to do is you're going to be getting an edge on those going differential. Of course, if your differential comes off, amazing. But what we've consistently seen this week through all the polling, whether we've been doing polls with you guys, whether we've been doing polls with the experts, no one can agree on the second best captain. You can see on screen right now, if you're looking at the poll, Haaland 66% currently. He's way out in front. After that, Palmer 12, Isak 13, Foden and De Bruyne 9. You guys are chatting about Havertz and Saka as well. There's nothing to split these players. There's no standout second best captain, which often suggests if you guys can't agree on who the second best captain is, then it probably suggests that the first best captain is probably the best captain, if we're being honest. And are you going differential for differential's sake? How far are you trying to push for that final rank? I don't know. You guys know that more than me for your own team. But, there's still 2 game weeks left to go differential in the captaincy. It's going to be difficult. I mean, MBSLR says Son second best captain. I mean, not seen anyone mention that. I mean, a lot of Spurs fans, particularly, are not even going to play Son this week. They're going to bench Son, which is a little bit crazy, granted, but yeah, anyone who's watched Spurs recently will know Son has been so poor. Yeah, he's really not looked himself. Completely absent, really, on the football field. It's quite bizarre. Thanos says, I went different last couple of weeks, except Isak, and it paid off. Gonna go template now. Yeah, fair enough. Stian says, do you think Petrovic is better than Onana? Onana has a higher ceiling, but yeah, I'm leaning towards Petrovic right now. Yeah. So there we go. Kaja says, so who of Fernandes and Son would you sell for KDB when chasing for a -4? I don't think I personally wouldn't sell either for a -4. I don't know. It feels a little luxury I assume you're taking a -4 because you're also going to sell another Man City player. You're probably going to sell Edison, right? If we're totally honest, you're thinking about selling Edison and then one of Fernandes and Son to get KDB in your team. I wouldn't do it. You've made your bed. If you wanted to go differential and you thought you were chasing, then you should you should have gone different on your wild card. Assuming this is correct in wild card decisions. Yeah, no, I think that you probably stick with what you got there. If I had to sell one of Fernandes or Son, I'd probably sell Fernandes, I suppose, but I don't know. Mr. Ebenezer says, remember on your next stream that I'll say I told you so about Havertz, captain. Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to lie, Mr. Ebenezer. There's about 10 people every stream, every video who say, oh, mark my words, this captain will come off. And, 8 out of 10 of them are wrong and I never hear about them again. So, yeah, maybe Havertz captain does pay off. But remember, in order to get a successful captain this week, you got to beat Haaland. A return is not good enough. A return is only good enough if Haaland blanks. You have to beat Haaland. And is that likely to happen? If you're picking a player you think can maybe match Haaland, then there's no point. You may as well just captain Haaland. If you haven't got Haaland, then that's another conversation. You should probably buy him. But yeah, again, if you need to go super differential to try and catch up, then yeah, take a risk and see what happens. But I would not be betting against him this week. Really would not fancy that. Should do a bench list, guys. Oh, we're a little early for the bench list. That's the only thing. We've got well over an hour until the deadline. We're going to throw out the bench list already. Seems a bit premature. But I suppose we could. Let's load it up. Let's load it up and see what it looks like. There we go. Mark says, Havertz did well for me last week, but I feel like it's a trap. What are the chances of him getting 3 double-digit chances in a row? What are the chances of rolling a 6 3 times in a row? Exactly the same odds as anything else. Gambler's fallacy. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Yeah, if you think Havertz is a good pick, then you think he's a good pick. Just because he scored well the previous weeks doesn't mean he's not going to score well the following week. That's not how statistics work. But I know a lot of people do think that way. Like that, there's that classic phrase, isn't there? Due a haul. Which sometimes works if you're using other numbers to define that. But like, I saw someone, a comment on one of my videos this week that said, Højlund, he's not scored in so long, so he's obviously going to score this game week because he hasn't scored in so long, so he's due to score. The numbers don't back that up at all. They really, really don't. They really, really don't. Right, loading up the bench list now for you guys. Let's get it on screen. I've thrown in Fernandes there to start us off. And then we can start adding some players in and around him. I'm going to start off with a couple of Crystal Palace players, actually. I know a few of you guys have still kicking around the squads. So let's get Eze on there and Mateta, who I would quite like to play this week if you had him. Of course, open to suggestions for bench list players, as always. Nicholas Jackson would probably go somewhere up here as well. Do I even prefer him to... I probably prefer him to Mateta. Just about. Saffron says, hey Focal, can I get your opinion on something? Guardiola and Gordon versus Burn and KDB. First of all, not Focal. No, I think you may have logged into the wrong stream, Saffron. You got the wrong guy. But... as we know, Oscar is a fantastic FPL content creator, and yeah, definitely feel free to hop over to him. I would love to help you with your question, but I don't want to jump in and answer something that is not aimed at me. All right, Madison. Yeah, I don't think I would play Madison. Madison, I definitely understand benching. Kablash asks if Edison will play this week. I'm split on that one. He trained. He did train. He did train today, so that's good news, right? Or trained yesterday, I believe. He apparently feels good to go, but with Ortega playing well whenever he's played, I don't think there's any reason to rush Ederson back. So I don't know. I think Ederson will probably play next game week. A little bit split on this week. Heung-min Son, I would start. Yes. I would start Son. Most likely. Depending on who else you have. Right. Watkins. I would start Watkins. In fact, I would definitely start Watkins. Watkins would go pretty high. He'd probably go top of the bench list if you got him. What's the best differentials for Gameweek 36? Jackson, Nicholas Jackson, Watkins, De Bruyne, these kind of guys. Maybe Emerson Royale if you fancy a defender. Who to get, KDB or Isak? Isak is the more important player to own, most likely. Gordon. I think I would... I think I'll still play Fernandes ahead of Gordon. Even with the potential injury. And the worst case scenario, well, one scenario is that Fernandes just doesn't play at all and you get your auto sub anyway. Lucas says, hey Dan, love the content. Currently at 30k in the world. I have one question. Would you rather start Dubravka or Petrovic this game week? Greetings from Serbia. Well, hello to Serbia. Back to you from the United Kingdom. Let's put them on the bench list for you, my friend. Let's see where we can put them. So, I would start Ederson over both of them, despite the potential injury. But I don't know. Would I maybe lean towards Dubravka? I think possibly so, yeah. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Dubravka over Petrovic. It is close, though. It is close. And we'll throw Onana just underneath here as well. Oh, not Onana. There we go. Orion asking about Darwin. Okay, we can throw Darwin on the bench list. To be honest, not super keen on Darwin, but maybe play him ahead of Madison. Garnacho is really just a bench player. Like, he's meant to be a bench player, right? He's a bench boost guy. You probably don't play him very often. Pickford. You want Pickford on the bench list? I think I'll play Ederson over Pickford. But I don't mind Pickford, to be fair. I'll probably put him here. So there we go. And by the way, guys, if Ederson doesn't start, there's no issue. If you like Ederson, if you have Ederson and you like him, just start him. Like, what's the worst that could happen? The worst thing that can happen is he gets 0 minutes, and whoever's on your bench will just auto sub in anywhere. So it's fine. Oliver says, great content. Subscribe. Thank you very much, Oliver, and welcome. Are you new to the FPL YouTube scene? Just picking up, just starting to nerd out? In fact, is there anyone out there who's only recently started to get into FPL, like YouTube content or whatever? Because yeah, how are you finding it? It's a slightly different world, isn't it? To before you start kind of really nerding out with the videos and stuff. Yeah, I'll never forget starting to watch. Starting off watching FPL content, then hopped over to the FPL Twitterverse as well. Bit of Reddit, and before you know it, making videos myself and really nerding out. It's good fun. It's a good time. All right, Duncan with a super chat. How you doing, Duncan, by the way? Do we trust Howe on Share? I have Share, Gusto, Gabriel, Aitnori, and Robinson. 1 free transfer. Aitnori to White, almost given. Open to a hit. Thoughts, Dan? I kind of mentioned earlier in this stream, Duncan, that basically, I think if you have 3 fit defenders, you'd probably just stick with what you've got. Because like you say, we don't fully trust Eddie Howe on Share. If we can get one more game week before making a move, and try and gather 1 more week's worth of information, it's probably worth doing. I mean, you have Gabriel. He's guaranteed starter. Aït-Nouri, the fact that there was no comment on Aït-Nouri in the presser does suggest he's probably fine, but then he's playing against Man City. So you're saying Aït-Nouri to White, makes sense. So that gives you 2 defenders. And then outside of that, you've got Sharon Gusto and Robinson. Is Robinson available? Robinson's not injured, is he? Let me just go check this real quick. I could probably check it before the... No, actually, what am I talking about? Of course he's available. No one at Fulham is ever injured. So you've got Robinson there as well to play against Brentford. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So, yeah. I think, if you've got Gabriel White and Aït-Nouri... Gabriel White and Robinson for this game week, that's good enough. That's good enough. 1 more week of information, no hit needed. I mean, if we're totally honest, any defender you bring in probably scores 2 points anyway. So is there really any point? I don't know. David says, I started this season and I love it. Oliver also recently started. Love it. Good, man. Good men. Love it. Ayman says, hey, Dan, been follower for 2 years. Legend, man. Thank you so much. Asking if you should start Dallo or Porro, though. Should we throw some defenders on the bench list? We haven't got any defenders yet. Well, I mean, to be fair, not a lot of people have the option of who they're going to play as their defenders. You just have to kind of play whoever you got. So let's start off with some Arsenal defenders. I wonder if we should... sometimes I do wonder if we should split the bench list into attackers and defenders. But maybe not. Right, Gabriel, you probably start him ahead of even a Maddison. So we'll put Gabriel here, we'll put White here. Saliba, we'll throw underneath. That's a good place to start. Burn, you maybe goes in here. I can't remember who the players that I was actually going to put in would be. Was it Dallo and someone? Dallo and Porro. So Pedro Porro I would not look to play. I think ideally you bench him. Dallo, honestly, players like Dallo and Maguire I'm not super convinced by either. So we're going to put them even lower. Guardiola, I mean, you guys don't need me to tell you to play Guardiola. It's the best defender in the game right now. He is the number 1. You don't need me. I mean, maybe you do need me to tell you to play Guardiola. Play Guardiola. Play Guardiola, guys. Come on. Let's be real. Probably play him ahead of Darwin, to be honest. James asking, is there any Van Hecker news? No. So, yeah, it was a bit of a secret in the press conference, so we didn't actually get a Van Hecker update, sadly. So the last we heard, what is being reported by journalists, insiders, in the knows, is that he's a season ender and he is going to be out for the season. But again, he's another one of those players, because we don't have anything definitive from the club, that it might genuinely be worth just holding off on the transfer. If you've got 3 other defenders you can play instead, just holding off on that Van Hecker transfer, I would. Because honestly, what are you going to get for Van Hecker money anyway? Like an Emerson Royale, a Harry Maguire, Lewis Dunk. Okay, yeah, I think Lewis Dunk would arguably go bottom of this list. It's not looking good for Brighton defensively at the moment, is it? Really not looking good. And if Van Hecker is out, as we believe he is, then it's going to get worse. Region versus Fulham. Set piece taker, which is always good when you play for a team like Brentford. Let's put him here. I think there's some potential for Region. Branthwaite, I quite like. I'd probably put Branthwaite here. Add Solanke. Okay, Solanke would go low. You would probably go just in behind the Arsenal defenders. In terms of attackers, there's not too many I would, I'd prefer to play most other attackers than Solanke. In fact, Solanke is arguably a sell even for a hit. I think I would sell Solanke even for a hit. Like, I don't think I'd want him in my team probably for the rest of the season. Chris Wood says Krish. A Chris for Krish. All right, Krish. Let's give you a Chris. Let's see. Wood. I mean, it's a pretty decent fixture. Against Sheffield United away from home. Got plenty of chances to score against Man City. I'm surprised he didn't tuck one away. I think I do prefer Wood to a Darwin. Probably prefer him to a Garnacho as well. I'm going to put him here. But honestly, you could potentially put him higher. In all honesty. You could put him pretty high. Sam asking for an update on Bruno Fernandes. It looks like I think he's broken his wrist. That would be my guess. Or sprained his wrist. But I mean, if he'd only sprained his wrist, he would be like guaranteed to play. But I think it's a broken wrist, and it's probably going to be a case of, do they play him? I'm guessing the doctor's recommendation is that Bruno does not play on Monday. You know, you depending on the severity of the fracture, assuming there is one. And I am just speculating, by the way. It is a problem with his arm. We know that. Because we've seen a picture of him with his arm like in a cast, his lower arm in a cast. So I think he's probably worth starting. I don't think he's worth selling. Really, to be fair, Awani also seems fit. Yeah, are we thinking Awani comes straight back into the team though? Considering Wood's been really good. Standard says you can still play with a sprained wrist. Yeah, you can, which is why I don't think it is a sprained wrist, because if it was a sprained wrist, then there would be no speculation here. It would be like a case of, yeah he's just going to play. Yeah, he's sprained his wrist, but he's absolutely fine. So that's why I suspect it is a broken wrist. Because, of course, you could feasibly play with a broken wrist, but it would not be a very sensible thing to do. but we know, and this is kind of the point, Bruno Fernandes is the kind of guy who doesn't care. He just wants to play football for Manchester United. It's the kind of guy he is. Brad says, do you put all City attackers and midfielders above these? Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Haaland, Foden, De Bruyne, I don't think they deserve a place on the bench list, because they are so 100% guaranteed you have to start these guys. Don't even think about benching them. Whereas players like Jackson, Mateta, Fernandes, I understand the kind of thought process, or maybe you're forced to bench one of these guys, but there should not be anything forcing you to bench. I mean, you've got 5 midfield slots, 4 depending on your formation. A Foden and a De Bruyne would be the top 2 of any players you could pick this week in midfield, really. And Haaland is the top 1. If we're talking about players like Doku and like Alvarez, then they'll go a lot lower. But hopefully you guys don't have those. Because if you have those, you're going to be missing out on some big points from some other players. Oscar says, who do you prefer next week? Bruno or De Bruyne? De Bruyne, yeah, definitely De Bruyne. I think he is the superior pick. But if you have De Bruyne, it means you've got to miss out on a Man City defender potentially there. So yeah, in a straight battle between Bruno and De Bruyne, and you're not thinking about anything else outside of that, then yeah, De Bruyne is the better pick. He's more expensive as well, which reflects that. But if it means he's eating into too much of your budget, if it means he's blocking you off from other Man City moves, then maybe not. Nikhil, Dallow and Braithwaite are already on the bench list, my friend. Danny G says, bench Havertz versus Gordon. Oh, no, that's easy. I mean, we'll throw Havertz on here, because I have seen a few people asking about Havertz. But you start him, he'd go really quite high. I'd maybe just put Watkins ahead of him, but yeah, nah. Flecken, not super convinced by. I mean, it's not a bad fixture against Fulham, but Fulham could score a goal. Any news on Gusto? I don't really know about Gusto, because we don't have any news on him. We can only go off speculation, sadly. Jack says, Dan, my mate who is winning my mini league has Isaac. I don't. He's 15 points ahead of me. So do I bring in Jackson or Isaac? Either way, I'm bringing in whichever one I don't bring in next week. Okay. Well, that's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean, certainly Isaac is the better pick. But you're thinking about betting against Isaac with Jackson. I mean, it's a risky bet to place and the odds are against you. I'd probably go safer because I think a 15-point gap, if your team is different enough from the person you're trying to chase 15 points on, you probably will be able to recover 15 points in 3 game weeks without having to go too crazy. You don't have to do anything like, you know, absolutely mad to catch up 15 points. I think, you know, it's very, very possible. We see these kind of swings every week. I mean, there was like you know, how many points? There's like, what, an 8-point swing between Bruno and De Bruyne last week. You know, that's 8 points there just on one player in one game week. So these swings happen all the time. Lukey Shrew says, thoughts on Haaland in Clash of Clans? I saw that for the first time as from Blackbox. Replied to one of my tweets with that video. I was like, what on earth is going on? But hey, Haaland, get that bag. I say get that bag. He already has enough money, doesn't he, playing for Man City? Does he really have to do Clash of Clans ads? Like, how much must Clash of Clans be paying Erling Haaland in order to get that feature? That's mad. Although I have to say, we're talking about it right now, aren't we? So the marketing is clearly working. I mean, I'm still not going to play Clash of Clans because I think it's a pretty dull game. It's not my kind of game. But hey, we're talking about it. Also, Lukey said, Captain or Foden, hey, if you want to go differential, go for it. I do prefer Haaland, though. He is my preference. Sue asking for Richarlison on the bench list. No problem, Sue. Let's see what we can do. Would I play Richarlison ahead of... I think I'd play him ahead of Gordon. Just about. It's tight, though. Certainly some of these other players up the top I prefer to Richarlison. Yeah. Havertz captain. I mean, I just say be wary of the fact that Bournemouth aren't really too bad defensively. In fact, Bournemouth back-to-back clean sheets. Are they back-to-back clean sheets? Let me verify this because I might be very, very wrong. But I do feel like they've done quite well. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, 2 clean sheets in the last 2. Granted, those were against Wolves and Brighton, who are 2 of the weakest defences in the league at the moment. And I'm not expecting a clean sheet against Arsenal, don't get me wrong. But what I would say is that they're not a team that typically scores too many goals, or concedes too many goals, or concedes too many, XG, in all honesty. So, yeah, there's a decent chance that Arsenal can score a couple of goals in that game, but I don't think it's going to be the same kind of 5-0 that we might be more likely to see from like a Man City. So I think there's more upside in a Man City attacker. I think there's more upside in a Chelsea attacker as well. I can see Arsenal scoring 2-0, something like that. But I can see City versus Wolves being 3-1, 4-1, or 3-0, 4-0, something like that. I can definitely see Chelsea winning 4-2 or something like that, because West Ham are just terrible defensively. Can definitely see it. Raya. Okay. I guess Raya will just have to naturally go at the top of the goalkeeper bench list, right? For the Arsenal elite defensive abilities. Sue says, thinking of Richarlison to Foden and share to Emerson Royale for a -4. What do you think? If you're really struggling for defenders, as in you don't even have 3 fit defenders, then you might consider that. But if I'm totally honest, I quite like Richarlison as a differential. If I'm chasing and I'm trying to give a last few weeks big boost to my rank, Richarlison against Liverpool, it's not that bad of a fixture at the moment. Then against Burnley, nice fixture. Then against Man City, a fixture that Spurs thrive in. Spurs love playing against Man City. And finishing off the season against Sheffield United, I quite like Richarlison for those three. Now, granted, I wouldn't want to go without Foden. So it depends. If you want to play differential, stick with Richarlison. If you want to kind of pivot towards the template, go a bit more boring, then Foden is maybe the play. For a -4 though, I don't know. It could go either way. Oh, apologies guys, I am very, very tired. Aaron says, what do you think about selecting both Pope and Dubravka, or Ortega and Edison? No rotation needed on your part. The manager does it for you. It's a good point. I mean, if you're on a wild card right now, then maybe. And if you're not bench boosting and you don't actually need 2 goalkeepers, then maybe. The only issue with that is that if you're doubling up on City goalkeepers, that means you have to miss out on one of Haaland, Foden, De Bruyne, and Guardiola. When a lot of other people will actually have 2 of those 4. Maybe even 3. You're going to be missing out on a lot of those players. And same with Newcastle. If you go for Pope and Dubravka, it means you're gonna have to miss out on one of Isak, Gordon, Burn. I don't know if it's worth it, just for the sake of, I guess goalkeeper security. But if that's the case, you just want goalkeeper security. You've got players like Pickford, Petrovic, Raya, all available to you. Reggae Tony Yam Yam says, what a name. Dan, will Walker play 2 games in the double game week? I don't know. I mean, it was only a single game week this week, to be fair. I think he should start, but yeah, Walker is not nailed on any more than any other Man City defender. Man City defenders just are all rotation risk. We know that even Guardiola has every chance of getting benched in any given game week. It's just the way it be. It's the way it is. We could put Walker on the bench list, though. I know a lot of you guys have him. I'm not going to put him as high as some of these other players. I'll maybe put him here. I wouldn't put him ahead of the Arsenal defenders. And Guardiola I like for his attacking. I don't think, anyway. Roy says, hi Dan, do I bench Gordon or Madueke? Wow, interesting differential, Madueke. I don't mind Madueke. I actually kind of like him as a differential. If I had Madueke, and me personally, I'm looking to chase, I want to go differential. If I already had him, I'd play him. I don't think I'd buy him necessarily, but if you've already got him and you've kind of gone there, then hey, why not? Why not try it? He seems to be pretty nailed on at that right wing position at the moment. Josh Fury says, for the love of Demon Slayer Season 4, terrible anime, by the way. Coming out in 8 days, is it? Don't care. Bad anime. Can you please give thoughts on Gordon Captain? Hate it, Josh. Despise it. Terrible, terrible pick. I think it is, anyway. Standard, by the way. I see your opening Team of the Season packs. 2 already. Congrats, my friend. Keep it going. Matt asking where Trent fits into the list. We can certainly add him somewhere. You wouldn't put him ahead of Arsenal defenders, would you? Even with that attacking threat, you're probably not going to get a clean sheet from him, but you've got a decent chance of a clean sheet an assist. Low chance of clean sheet, decent chance of an assist. Decent-ish. Sammy asking whether you should start Jackson or Gordon. My friend, that is what the bench list is for. That's what we're here for, you guys. Why Son over Gordon? Gordon's away form is terrible. Newcastle, in general, don't score nearly as many goals away from home as they do at home. There seems to be a real difference between Newcastle at home versus away. You still back a player like Isak, but Gordon seems to just completely bottle it away from home. I don't know why. He just loves St James's Park. And he doesn't seem to get too many returns. I also don't think Burnley away from home is a super easy game. Burnley have actually improved a lot defensively over the past few months. So I don't think it's like... I think a lot of people still thinking, oh, game week 1 Burnley. It's not the same. The game week 1 Burnley is now like a... Well... Sheffield United and Luton are still very much down there, aren't they? But like other worst defences in the league... Brighton looking really poor at the moment. Manchester United conceding a whole load of chances, but Onana's been bailing them out a little bit. So I don't know. Why is Mateta so high? Because he plays against Manchester United and he's been in pretty good form. And I think that's a real nice opportunity. Højlund on the list. I have to be totally honest with you guys. Højlund's going to go low. He's going to go low. I'm going to put him actually below Maddison. He's going to go probably the lowest of these attackers, certainly. Drew says, hey Dan, hold Watkins or buy Jackson? Definitely hold Watkins for this week. Make the switch next week if you need to. Oscar says, I know you have the bench list in order, but risk Bruno not playing still worth starting over Gordon. Depends how you feel about the risk. I mean, if you just do not want to take a risk at all, then just bench Bruno. But I think it's worth taking a risk over certain players on starting Bruno. I think it's worth starting him ahead of a lot of players. But you know, if you're in a fortunate position where you've got like Watkins, Havertz, Eze, Jackson, Mateta, Son, these kind of players alongside your Man City guys, then yeah, you might have the luxury of being able to bench Fernandes. And even if you have like a Wood or a Richarlison, Gordon, Garnacho, and you think it's a tight decision, just bench Bruno. It's fine. It's absolutely fine to bench Bruno. But you know, I think in all likeliness, with the kind of injury he has, you know, he's probably just either going to play or not play. Or is that wrong? Or maybe it's not that case at all. The wrist injury. That he probably only plays if he has to. Maybe it's more of a case of if Man United are beating Crystal Palace, then Bruno stays on the bench. I don't know. Why is Bruno yellow? Because he's potentially injured. Potentially. We don't know for sure. Well, we do know. We just don't know whether he's going to battle through the injury and play anyway. No Gusto update, I'm afraid. The Chelsea press conference was embargoed. So I think we have to operate on the assumption that it's unlikely he'll play. Wesley says, who's getting benched? KDB, Haaland, Foden never start together. Must be Kev, right? No, you don't bench any of the Man City guys. No. Oh, wait, are you talking about in real life? Mine's on FPL. Okay, in that case, none of them. They all play. It's probably Man City's 3 best attackers in their squad. That's all 3 of them will start. They have all started together in the past. It's just that usually at least one of them's injured. And that's been the issue. Why is Watkins at the top? He's the top scoring player in FPL. I mean, come on. Or did did Palmer catch up with him last night? I don't think so. And Jan says, will KDB play both games of the double game week? I think he will, yeah. I think he will. Dusan says, Robertson triple captain. Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? You're crazy. Zhao says, Mateta ahead of Bruno. Yeah. No, I would play Mateta over Bruno this week, yeah. Fardine says if it's just a wrist injury, Bruno will play. Not if he's actually broken his wrist. If it's, or, you know, wrist or arm. If he's broken his wrist or arm, then I don't think it's a guarantee that he plays. They might want to try and see if he can heal a little bit before taking that risk. to be fair. Sakaliko says, interesting. You expect Son away on Liverpool having bigger impact than Gordon. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Anthony says, Foden to Richarlison. No. Definitely not. Definitely just keep Foden and start him. Where does Cher stand in the table? Cher is not going to play this game week, so he may as well be bottom. It doesn't matter where you put Cher on the bench list. He's going to end up benching your team anyway when the automatic substitutions come in. Theodore says, start Garnacho or Muniz. Let's put a bunch of flags. Theodore, I can't actually tell what flag that is because it's so small on my screen. I can see a bit of green in there and a bit of red. What flag is that? Is that your country? Start Garnacho or Muniz. Should we throw Muniz onto the bench list? I think Muniz and João Pedro can probably go on there. We need to add a couple of forwards, don't we? So Muniz, I would still kind of back. I mean, Muniz's numbers have managed to stay reasonably good, even though he hasn't been scoring necessarily. He's getting a lot of chances to score. Actually, he scored last week though, didn't he? I think it was a couple of weeks before that where he wasn't scoring, but he was still getting a lot of good chances. Brentford's a nice fixture. I like Muniz. Would I play him ahead of Fernandes? Genuinely, quite possibly. No, I'm going to put Muniz here. If I had him, I think I would start him. We'll throw João Pedro in here as well, though. Not as convinced by him. He'd probably be in and around. Well, he's a penalty taker, which is helpful. He would be below Gordon. I'd put him like there. Also, Namibian flag. Oh, cool. You're watching from Namibia. Wow. Always good to see people enjoying FPL from all over the world. Here for FPL has been a member of 1 month. Thank you for sticking with me, man. Mark says, would you rather have a hand made out of ham or an armpit that dispenses sun cream? I don't want my hand to be made out of ham. I'll take the armpit that dispenses sun cream. Thank you very much. Be quite useful. Although I'm a fairly brown young man, so I don't usually need sun cream unless I go to a really hot country, which doesn't happen very often. Mark says, Muniz ahead of Gordon. You're in that situation yourself? Yeah, I think I would play Muniz ahead of Gordon. Personally, I would. Sam says, Onana will get more save points than Petrovic, surely. Neither will keep a clean sheet, I don't think. You're probably right. But I think Chelsea have a significantly better chance of a clean sheet. And in fairness, there are save points to be had against a team like West Ham. And actually, I thought Chelsea looked very good defensively against Spurs. Particularly Cucurella. Really, really good, solid performance from him. Aaron Udell says, would you double up on Newcastle goalkeepers in FPL draft? In draft, I don't see why not. There's no bench boosts or anything like that. So, yeah. Crack on, man. If you have that opportunity and you've got a Newcastle goalkeeper for the remainder of the season, hey, not bad. Theodore says, if you come to Namibia, you'll need sunscreen. Yeah, you're probably right. Braulio says, hi mate, just joined the stream. What does the yellow font mean? It means that the player is potentially going to be injured. It's not like they're definitely out, but there's a small risk there. Rob Lewis says, flipping between Haaland and Foden captain. Maybe need to do a coin cost to decide. You know what would be awesome? Is to get actually a coin made. Like an FPL Mate coin made for 50-50 decisions. I need to do this. We need to make an official coin cost. But for those of you guys who are not familiar, we can settle some decisions here. Some FPL YouTubers like to use a spinny wheel to decide things. We're not quite as fancy here. So let's throw in a... We'll do a coin cost in 1 second. So... Blizzard with a super chat first of all says, Bruno for an Arsenal midfielder or attacker. Already got Eze and Son. I mean, you could maybe go for a Havertz or a Saka, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary transfer, particularly with Bruno with the double game week next week. So I don't know if I would do that. It's an option for sure, but I don't think you need to do it. Nihar says, would you start Salah or -4 for Garnacho or Bruno? I'll just start Salah, yeah. Hanksy says, would you do Salah to Son for a -4? No. No, I would not. And pretty easy questions, guys. I appreciate that. Usually we get some tough questions and I'm like, oh my word, I'm going to screw this up by giving a bad answer. But no, that was pretty straightforward. So yeah, appreciate you guys with the super chats. Of course, all of the super chats really do help support the channel. And we are going to be reinvesting a lot of all of your support, guys. It has not gone unnoticed, and we are going to be reinvesting all of your generous support back into the channel next season and hopefully improving some things. But anyway, the toin costs. So, for those of you who are new, or maybe just don't always watch streams, by the way, welcome. Very much enjoy anyone who joins on the streams. We don't do this all the time, but I am saying toin costs intentionally because I once said it accidentally. I once accidentally said toin costs instead of coin toss. It's a channel meme. It's an in-joke, but now you're in on the joke. You're in on the joke, which is good, right? So the toin cost is where I flip a coin to make decisions in FPL, often for you guys. Now, I don't actually have a coin on me. Never do. But I always have, like, an LED remote, which has just kind of been the substitute to make it, to kind of make split decisions. So we have this fancy, colourful side, which is always means the differential. This is the differential. This is the exciting pick. And you have the plain, boring black side. Boring, I know, terrible. Quick super chat here from Here for FPL says, Gameweek36 specifically, Bradley to Gabriel or White or Guardiola. Let's say Ben White. Ben White. And Dusty says, hold Salah or -4 for a Man City midfielder or Son. I wouldn't take a -4 to move Salah to Son. I think I'd probably just keep Salah. Right, toin costs. So, does anyone have any 50-50 decisions to be made? I already saw someone said Foden or Haaland captain. That is a Foden, if I ever did see one. That side is Foden. That is Haaland. So for the person who's got that 50-50 decision, we're going to flip this for you. You have to follow it through, though, whatever the toin cost decides. If it lands this side up, you're captaining Haaland. If it lands this side up, you're captaining Foden. So I flip it on the desk, and then we can move the camera, and you guys can see. And we can maybe do some more 50-50 decisions. Okay, I'm flipping it now. Wait, no, I need to catch it, because it's just going to bounce off my desk, right? I'm going to catch it. Oh. Oh. Okay. Are you ready? Congratulations, my friend. You're captaining Foden, and you will regret it. The toin cost has decided. There we go. Mark says Muniz or Gordon to start. Okay. Muniz, exciting. Gordon, boring. I would start Muniz, by the way, but the toin cost has decided. Well, guess what it is? You're starting Muniz. Malhar says Isak versus Haaland captain. Haaland. Isak. We're going to see maybe a pattern here emerging. Oh my word. It's 3 in a row. You're captaining Isak. How accurate is the toin cost? It seems to land on this side up pretty often. I'm not going to lie. The FPL Juice show is here. Welcome, guys. Hope you guys are all right. Are we on the streamception today? I wonder. Is this a pre-record? Why are the Christmas lights on? Because, right, you always come in with the best questions, by the way. Last week, the FPL Juice came on with a super chat asking, why have you got a mustache but no beard? Great question. Answer, can't grow a beard. This week's question, equally interesting. So, the Christmas lights went up 2 years ago? No. Can't be 2 years ago because it would have been May 2 years ago. A year and a half ago, I guess. They went up then, and I thought they looked bloody brilliant. I thought, they look amazing. I'm going to leave them up. So I just kind of left them up. Because I think it adds a little bit of fun and colour to the stream. I mean, not that we're not lacking colour particularly anyway. But, hey. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Hello, FPL Juice gang. Who have we got? Who's in the studio in FPL Juice right now? Who have you got? The usual gang. Mark enjoys the lights. Oh, so do I. I might, to be fair, I might just get like a different colour one. To be fair, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Probably not going to be in this room next season. Looking to build a little bit of a home studio, actually. Garage conversion. So we've got Delia, Ash, and FPL Savage. Well, hello guys. Hope you're ready for the deadline. Right. Trying to get him to 100 on Twitter. Who? Savage. Well, I guess everyone go follow FPL Savage on Twitter. If that's the case, can we have a look? Can we see if we can find him? There's 3. 3 are the best. Is it the one with the underscore? I think it is. Aha! Yes, it is. It is the one with underscore. Well, can we get FPL Savage to 100 followers? You guys tell me. Can we do it? Usually no free promo on the FPL Mate channel. You got to pay me. But today, we're feeling generous. There we go. I've posted a link to the Twitter page or in the chat. I'm dropping a follow myself. Let's get FPL Savage to 100 followers. Surely the power of FPL Mate, well, not me, the community, the FPL Mate community can come through. Let's see. Anyway. Toyn cost, Gordon or Son? We'll go back to some Toyn costs. Actually, I just realised I've not even got what I wanted to have on screen. I meant to have that on screen. There you go. FPL Savage. Link in the chat. There, yeah. 100 followers. Can we do it? Well, 1 follower gained, excluding me. That, I think, counts as a win. Yes, I now need a small fee. FPL Juice has gifted a membership, and it's been gifted to Egg. Egg with some Chinese characters. Congratulations, Egg. You are now a member of the FPL Mate channel, courtesy of FPL Juice Show. Cheers, Juice guys. Absolute legends. You guys are, as we all well and truly know. All right, come on. Let's do some more Toyn costs before the deadline. Let's do some more Toyn costs. Where am I? It's got to be done. Right, big decisions. What you got for me? Any other big decisions that need to be made? I mean, there's a lot of these decisions I think are kind of already pretty... Are they obvious? Well, I don't know. Toyn cost, Gordon or Son? Okay, fine. I think that is, in fairness, a decision a lot of people have to make. Gordon or Son? In fact, I'm gonna put Gordon on this side because I actually think Son is a spicier pick this week. Gordon, dull. Son, exciting. We know how this one goes. Well, what do you know? I need to test this. Is this literally going to happen every time? No, it didn't. Okay. No. Right, so it was just a coincidence that it kept landing on that side. Oh my god, where's it gone? Although I have to say, Nah, we just got lucky with that run of the colourful sides. Right, super chat from C16 Football says -4 Walker to Powell, or De Bruyne to Madison, or nothing. Nothing. I would do nothing. I don't think you need to do those moves. That's not a coin. No, it's not. It's a toin. It's a toin that I'm tossing. God, do I have to spell everything out to you guys? I need a coin. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna get something made up. I'm gonna get something made up for the next season. I'm gonna get a special like FPL Mate coin. It's gonna be a real life coin. It's gonna be called the Toin. And that's going to be a great bit of content for next season. We do like our props on this YouTube channel. We do like the props. Should we get back to business, guys? Let's get back to business. Right, let's put the bench list back on screen. And see what we can do. Right. The agency strategist says, hey Dan, Son to KDB from -4. Don't think I'd do it from -4, no. I would maybe do it for free, but no, in general, no. Carl says, what are the best defenders for the double game week? I think genuinely, there's not too much who actually double. To be fair. But I guess Burn is a standout option. I mean, to be fair, I don't mind the Arsenal defenders, even though they don't double. C16 says, Dan, my super chat was wrong. I meant the other way around for the arrows. Okay, hang on. Let's go back to it. Wait, so it'd be... Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I did know. I kind of understood what you meant. So, right. I see what you're saying. So, you're selling both Powell and Madison for De Bruyne and Walker. You know what? To be fair, that's not bad. If you only have one Man City player right now and you want to bring in two, yeah, I would go for Guardiola over Walker though, and he's cheaper as well. So there's no real reason not to. So yeah, in that case, I would go for it. Mark says you should next season you should do some streams now and again for members only. That would be cool. I definitely agree, and I would like to do that. But one thing I have committed to this season at least is 0 paywalled content. So I kind of made the pledge before the season started that I would not be paywalling any content. And I don't know. I feel like I would like to do more members stuff and stuff for members and give more benefits to members. Because support, you guys supporting the channel, is so useful, and I do want to give something back. But I'm super conscious about paywalling content because at the end of the day, I don't think my content is worth money, if you like. And I don't want it to, like, I don't want to sound like I'm grandstanding or virtue signaling, but FPL is played by people in all kinds of financial situations, in all parts of the world, and if you start freezing people out because you're making content paid for only, it doesn't fully sit right with me unless I'm offering a lot of value, which I don't think I am. But I guess I need to reframe it as, support. If you guys are supporting the channel, then you deserve a reward. Of course you do. It's a difficult one. I don't know. I need to think about it. I need to think about it, to be honest. Anyway, moving on. Back to FPL, as we do. Ethan says, we've become a member because we like you as a person, not only because of the content that's secondary for me, but I enjoy watching your streams, and FPL for me is a bonus. Phil says, I'm a member just because I like the content you provide now, and it helps support the channel. I don't care about special perks. Honestly, I really do appreciate, I do appreciate you guys, like, a lot. I mean, you know that by now. But we'll see. We'll see. I would like to do more for you guys, though, who do support the channel. I would love to give something back to you more than I do now. I don't think I do enough. It's just finding that balance. Anyway, Warwick Scott says, start Son or Mateta. I believe both players are on the bench list. And I think we put Mateta higher. Yeah, one place higher. So yeah, I would actually start Mateta over Son, which is probably a little controversial. I think if you want to play safe, you start Son. But I think, genuinely, Mateta is probably the better pick. Maybe. Mr. Ebenezer says, your content is what helped me out a lot 4 years ago when I started FPL. You made it familiar for me a lot. I wish I could be a member if my country had the payment system with YouTube. I'm from Ethiopia, by the way. That's no problem. It's really no drama. Like, it's fine. You know, I don't do this for the money. I don't need that. I'll be going whether you're a member or not. We're still here for you, my friend. We're still here for you. George says, why is Muniz over Garnacho? I'm debating. Honestly, I genuinely really do quite like Muniz this week. Nice fixture against Brentford. Muniz is consistently putting up really nice XG every game. Even though he hasn't always scored. Last couple of game weeks, he's got a return. He got goal last week, assist the week before. A few blanks before that. But, yeah, I don't know. Akash says, brother, your views are decreasing. Do something about it. And the views decrease at this time of the season every year, every season. It's just the cycle of FPL. Obviously, to be fair, there is a lot of other FPL content creators now than there was last year and the year before and the year before that. So, yeah. Naturally, the views are going to be a little bit down right now, but like I say, I do this for the love of it, and I you know, I'm happy. I'm just happy to be here. You know, I don't need all of the views in the world. I'm pretty chill with it, but at the same time, I still want to make sure we're giving you the best content possible. So views are going to decrease. Technically, the views haven't really decreased. The numbers for this season are about the same as they were last season. Plateaued, definitely. But plateauing in a really competitive FPL content market is fine by me. But no, I'm not going anywhere. We're not going to make wholesale changes. We'll make little tweaks and try and make sure you guys are getting the best content possible, and we're trying our best. But you know, it's a difficult space at the moment. It really is difficult space to get views, to maintain views. But yeah, there'll be a few surprises next season. I'll tell you that one. There'll be a few surprises. Like I said, we are going to be reinvesting a lot into FPL content and trying to pioneer some new stuff and really stay ahead of the game, which is for me exciting stuff. So I do want to make sure we are continuing to really lead the way in FPL content, whether or not it's actually, you know, being at the top necessarily, but just, you know, in terms of kind of creativity and stuff like that. Anyway, we can talk about stuff after the deadline. Right. Martinius says, Henderson or Dubravka? I would start Dubravka, I think. Mbov says, 1 free transfer, Van Hecker to Branthwaite to play ahead of Maguire. I don't know if I would, to be honest. I'd maybe just play Maguire. It doesn't seem worth the transfer. To me. Ibrahim says sell Neto Solanke to get Haaland and Isak and Petrovic. Haaland or Isak and Petrovic for -4. Yes, Ibrahim, I would make that move for a -4. No Foden on the bench list? No, sir. No, sir. You play him. You play Foden no matter what. No one's going to touch Foden. I would say Foden is probably the #1 midfielder to play this game week. Akash says, you are the OG, bro. I'm not the OG. There's a few channels before me in the FPL world. One of the OGs... Probably not even one of the OGs, to be honest. Second wave FPL content creator. How is Gordon so low on the list? He's playing away from home. I don't think this is actually a super easy fixture. I think people underestimate Burnley. Paul Gordon is terrible away from home. Newcastle terrible away from home. And there's just loads of other options this week that a lot of people have. Braulio, I'm not going to answer the Foden question again. Mark is absolutely right. Why are people asking about Foden? As a City fan, that is insulting. I agree. Ridiculous to even consider. But he's literally the best midfielder for the game week. You cannot bench him. I mean, can we even... Let's try and back that up. Let's try and back it up. Rather than just waffling. Let's see here. Let's take away the bench list briefly. And we'll go all players for game week 36. Oh no, we just want midfielders, right? So, okay, it's saying Salah is the best, highest predicted points for midfielders this week, followed by Foden. I mean, you guys wouldn't ask about Palmer, would you? But actually, is Palmer the best midfielder? De Bruyne? Tell you what, if you have Foden, Palmer, and De Bruyne this week, you are cooking. If you have an Arsenal midfielder as well, I mean, there's not going to be too many people with Arsenal midfielders at the moment because of everyone who wildcarded recently. But that could go off. Moses says, I'd like you to change how you display your team. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that after deadline. Because I would, you know, if you guys have got feedback from me, I do welcome it. But let's do it after deadline. Eze versus Gordon. Eze all day. All day. I mean, you can see from this list, you kind of get an idea of like who the best midfielders are. Paredes says, toss up Gordon versus Sancho. Jadon Sancho. Huh? Let's read the rest of this because maybe that's toss up Gordon versus Sancho. Really can't decide. I do lean. Oh, you mean Garnacho? I do lean to start Garnacho as United need to win, but they look rubbish. On the other side, Garnacho's away form is so bad. No other options. So Sancho is Garnacho. Let's say Gordon. I mean, honestly, I would go Gordon. Like, Man United can need a win as much as they like, but Crystal Palace are a good side. They're a good side, so that's who I'd go for. I'll play Gordon. Even with his poor away form. Nidish says, play Garnacho or Son. Or change share to Burn and play Burn for Dallo. No need to make that transfer. Captain Foden and vice captain who if he doesn't play. If you're winning your mini league, you have to captain Haaland. If you want to just stay at the top of your mini league, then just captain Haaland. Don't even take that risk because that really could be a huge difference. Really, really, like if Haaland goes off, you're screwed. And he really could. Yeah. If you want to maintain your mini league, Nidish, play Son. Don't change share to Burn. I think it's a luxury transfer. You can just play Dallo. And captain Haaland instead of Foden. Unless you don't have Haaland, in which case, yeah, Foden is fine. Palmer, I like him as a captain as well. If you really want to go differential. Isak, if you really want to go differential as well. I'm struggling to recommend anyone outside of Haaland for a captain this week, if I'm totally honest. Or at least I can't think of a convincing argument to captain anyone else. Other than you just want to be different. Don't know. Best captain if you don't have Haaland in your team? Palmer. I'd probably go Palmer personally. But there's other options. Foden, De Bruyne, Isak. Some people mentioned earlier, Havertz, Saka. I would probably go Palmer personally though. Garnacho to Foden from -4. Jason, I would consider that. Yeah, I would consider that. Particularly if that other transfer you're making is part of the -4, can improve your team in some way, then yeah. The Josh J says Isak captain massively overlooked. I think the problem is Newcastle's away form. Bruno or Son kind of afraid of that yellow Dorito. Play Son. Should we put the bench list back on screen? Because there seems to be a few bench-related questions as we go into the final 10 minutes before deadline. So let's throw that back on screen. Perez says, my rival stars Fernandez and benches Gordon. So Garnacho kind of ensures me. Thoughts? Still Gordon. I don't think Garnacho does necessarily ensure you anyway, because I think if Fernandez was to get anything from the Crystal Palace game, it would probably be either a long-range effort that somehow finds the back of the net or a penalty. Those are going to be the damaging ones for Fernandez, and in all likeliness, Garnacho is not going to have too much to do with them. You really think Gordon's going to flop this week? I don't think he's going to flop necessarily, but I'd be surprised to see him haul. I mean, I think it's definitely good for an assist. But I do think there are other options this week. Mark says, I've been looking at defensive numbers and Brentford haven't been that bad. Do you think Muniz can score? Well, let me check myself real quick. They were poor the last time. To be fair, I've not checked this week for Brentford numbers, but unless they've significantly improved. I mean, they just played Brighton, which is going to improve the defensive numbers for anyone, granted. Right, defensive numbers last, I don't know, since Gameweek 30, let's say, XGC per appearance. Yeah, Brentford are pretty good, actually, since that break. Have they had good fixtures? Because that's changed a lot in the 2 weeks since I last checked it. Who have they played? Everton, Luton, Sheffield United, Brighton, Burnley. Okay. Yeah. To be fair, their defensive numbers are up, but looking at who they've played, I can see why. Yeah. All right. Well, make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. There's definitely an argument to say that Brentford are improving defensively. There's definitely an argument there, but tread with caution. I still fancy Muniz. Mark, you are really wrestling with this one. I feel like you don't want to play Muniz. If your gut is saying don't play Muniz, then don't play Muniz. Because you will regret it more if you go against your gut and get it wrong. A lot more. Nick says Bruno to Garnacho and Alvarez to Haaland from -4, or Bruno to KDB for free. Already have Foden. Thanks, Dan. Love the channel. Thank you very much, Nick. I kind of the Bruno to KDB move is more interesting for sure. It is much more interesting. The Haaland move is safer. I think that's it. So, yeah, as Oluwaseun, hopefully I'm saying your name right, you've just mentioned, will I be missing out if I don't have Haaland in my team this week? And the answer is yes. Yes, you will. So, it's probably more sensible. I mean, Julian Alvarez has got to go. He's not a player you can keep in your team. He's got to go. So, I guess Bruno to Garnacho and Alvarez to Haaland for a -4, Nick. I guess it's got to be done. Faisal says, White, Gabriel, Dallo, Maguire, Porro, transfer Guardiola. No, don't need to. You've got a full defence there already. There we go. Glenn says, love your work, Dan. That's it. Have a good game week. You too, Glenn. You know what? You too, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Saif says, do I play Chelsea defenders? Like Gilchrist over Dallo? Gilchrist is a bit of an interesting one. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But yeah, if you have Chelsea defenders, you might as well start them. I don't know how long Gilchrist is going to last as an FPL asset, though. How many points have you got for FPL Challenge? Oh, I didn't even play FPL Challenge last week, man. I didn't even think about it. I think I missed the last 2 weeks now. I think I'm over it. It's run its course. Yeah, it had a good couple of weeks. It had its run. Show team. Is it show team, gang? I'm feeling kind today. Should we just show the team? Let's just show the team. I don't think anyone's copying my team anyway at the moment. Why would you? Well, last week we did pretty well. Ryan says, I have a rank of 20k at the moment, and it's all thanks to your tips. Thanks for all the help this season, you legend. Ryan, you're my absolute pleasure. And yeah, I mean, you've got to take some credit yourself, my friend. Absolutely killing it. Well done. Daniel asked, hey Dan, do you like Havertz for captain? I mean, it's okay. It's a fun, interesting differential, but I don't know. I don't know. Tim says, TV series you wish you'd never watched so you could watch it for the first time all over again. Oh, that is a post-deadline question if I ever did hear one. But my answer would probably be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The greatest anime of all time. I wish I could watch that again. Probably. I want to think about that one. Actually, yeah, I think that's my answer, but I would go back and think about that. There's probably loads of answers. Bruno for Gordon. I don't think I'd sell Bruno for Gordon. Prince Izzy says, hey Dan, start Sonya's or Burn? I'll start Sonya's. Who's Sonya's? Senesi? I start Burn. Breaking Bad is the obvious answer. I agree. But I think that series tailed off a little bit towards the end. The final seasons weren't as strong as the first seasons. Attack on Titan, surely. I love Attack on Titan, but I don't think it's an all. It's like a top 10 anime of all time, maybe, but it's not like goated. It's in that elite category, but not like GOAT category. Oh, Son. Play Son. Van Hecker to Guardiol for -4 or play Porro/Dallo. I think I would just play Porro or Dallo. I think. Maybe. Daniel says Game of Thrones for sure. All right, guys. Look. This is excellent topic of discussions. I love it, and I would love to talk about it with you guys. But we have 2 minutes till deadline. We cannot talk about Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad right now. We're going to talk about FPL. We've got Super Chats from Veer. Veer says, hi Dan, thinking of Saka and Solanke to KDB and Haaland for a -4, then Powell and Neto to Maguire and Petrovic next week. Veer, I like your thinking. I don't think you need to do the Saka to KDB move. But Solanke to Haaland for free, get it done. I don't think you need to do Saka to KDB though. But certainly the Solanke to Haaland move, do it. Digbit says, why is nobody captain Foden over Haaland? Haaland is just a more reliable FPL asset, I would say. Yeah, just in general, penalty taker. You ideally captaining penalty takers is useful because even if your captaincy goes wrong, all you need is a bit of luck with penalties, and boom, you got yourself some points. John says Son versus Burn versus Branthwaite. Play the attacker. Son. Ruben Dias on the bench list. I don't really know where I put him. Right, hang on. Let me just make sure my team is correct. Yeah, I think I'm locked in. Spurs will destroy Liverpool? Really? I don't know about destroy. Play Nicholas Jackson or Bruno? I play Nicholas Jackson, I think. Just. Maybe. But we are running out of time here, guys. Bench Gordon or Garnacho? I bench Garnacho. Cucurella or Chalobah? I wouldn't buy either. Why not Isak captain? You can captain Isak if you want. I don't particularly want to. Right. Mark is locked in. Mark, who did you end up starting? Be interested to see. I think you said Muniz, right? But just confirm that. John says, thank you, mate. Burn first bench starting spot. There you go, my friend. Branthwaite and Son starting. Perfect, man. Perfect. Well, I wouldn't mind playing Burn, to be honest, but Branthwaite, yeah, decent. Do I bench Bruno for Gordon? It's too late. Because, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hang on. I'm receiving a phone call. Bear with me. One moment. Right. Hello? Wow. What do you mean? As in you've... What, by my house? Oh no. Oh, you just gone by. Oh, well, like you've passed the ball. No, you've passed. No. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was the deadline. The deadline is said that they have passed, and we are locked in. And we don't need to show team because the team is right there. There's no secrets. But the deadline is passed, and now, you know, it's so crazy. There is literally 2 deadlines left now. That's it. Two little deadlines. I can't believe it. We are so close to the end of the season. We are so close. All of that stress of the week. How many -4s should we take to replace defenders with new defenders who are only going to score 2 points anyway? All of that is in the past. And we can now move on to, well, I mean, I guess to watching football. We've got Everton tonight. Branthwaite owners, Pickford owners, make yourselves known. Ending the poll. Daniel says, let's go Big Green for all Dans this week incoming. I would love it, and I think I deserve it. The captain poll. Haaland 65%, Palmer 12%, Foden and De Bruyne 11%, and Isak actually ended up losing that poll with 9%. He was in second place at one point, but no, Palmer's the second most popular captain. Interesting stuff. Cool. Right. Well, should we stick around for 30 minutes? And just have some general chat before we get the lineups, and we'll have a look at the lineups for Luton and Everton, and we'll go on. John says hat-trick from Branthwaite tonight. I just got a call. Hey, who says no? Not me. Let's talk about some random stuff. Okay, all-timer TV shows. Actually, no. You know what I want to do first? Some people said they had some feedback. Okay. So, feedback to me. Obviously, you know, I mentioned that we'd like to improve the YouTube channel, and yeah, well, what would you guys like to see? One thing like I would like to improve is like, I feel like we do like the worst numbers of all of the big FPL YouTubers. My numbers are like, I look for my numbers in terms of video views. I'm still, you know, only Let's Talk FPL is doing more numbers on YouTube, like monthly views, watch time, whatever. So the numbers are good on YouTube generally, but I feel like the stream numbers are lower than other people. Like, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with my streams? I think I look pretty cool. I think I look pretty snazzy. Is there anything we can improve there? And is there any other feedback that you wanna say that we can improve the channel? Because if you got anything for me, we can definitely consider it. Wanna make sure we particularly like for next season. Going into a new season is always an opportunity to change things up. Like, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but I'm considering ditching buy, sell, keep, avoid. I think it's run its course. I think I maybe overcomplicated it this season. I think it might need to go. So I think that will get replaced. We'll keep the tier list videos. We'll keep the 100 experts for sure. For FPL challenges, shot close to goal worth a point. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. Mark says, honestly, your streams are so fun compared to the rest. Maybe, is that the problem? Linus says, stop using the word snazzy. Why? It's a great word. It's a fantastic word. Is that the feedback? Don't replace the tier list. No, I think we'll keep the tier list. I can maybe improve the tier list a little bit. So we'll try and look at how I can do that. But yeah, I think Buy Sell Keep Avoid, you know, that was like the first series that really got this YouTube channel off the ground. But I just think it's right. Of course, it's like the lowest viewed video each week now, so I think it's got to go. Like you know, you have to be a little bit cutthroat in this game, and there's no time to be sentimental. Do more unstructured videos, more spontaneously. Okay, so like rather than weekly content that's like repetitive every week, we've kind of thrown some fresh ideas each week. We kind of do that on a Sunday, to be fair. Sundays is like random video day. But we'll see. Ian says, hi Dan, love your content. Do you think you went a bit heavy to focusing on double game weeks, and then a lot of the time double game weeks were a bit disappointing, which may have also damaged team? And we tell that to everyone who free hitted in game week 34. That's all I'm going to say. Don't remove Buy Sell Keep Avoid completely. You can give it at the end of the video if you don't want to make an entire video about it. I was thinking about maybe just making it into a short form video. Just doing a short each week. Yeah, I think that would maybe work. Just do it as a short. And then posting it to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. And then if any of you guys still do want your Buy Sell Keep Avoid, you just have like a 2-minute version instead, mini one. Problem is the Norwegian pronunciation of Haaland. Maybe it is. Everyone's been so nice. You're meant to be mean to me. You're meant to say, Dan, you're doing this wrong. You need to do this. You need to do this differently. You need to change this. It's not good enough. Egg, you're the person who got gifted the membership of the channel. Dan, any thoughts? Petrovic, Region, White, Guardiola, Fernandes, Palmer, Saka, Someniz, Haaland, Isak. Looks like a strong team to me. Daniel says, I think more stat-based would be good. XG and XGC for teams and players of previous games. That is a good point, and I have thought about this a little bit myself. I feel like I've not done as much statty stuff this season as maybe previously. So, yeah, maybe we nerd out a bit more and try and back things up more with numbers. Particularly if we're doing away with Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid, which is really the only video that does go heavy on numbers. I'll think. I'm going to think of some better content. We'll do something. Who did Mrs. FPL Mate captain? Oh my Christ. I'm going to go ahead and assume that she forgot to do her team because I didn't remind her today. I did remind her early on in the week, but I know she ignored me. I said, I'll do it later on in the week. And I didn't remind her today because we've been busy today. Pretty much streaming all day. So I'm guessing her captain's armband is still on Mateta. Dan, I know this is a bit deep, but what have you learned from this season in general? What in terms of within FPL? I guess not to be so silly with captains early on in the season, because I think that's where my season was derailed. To pick safer and more boring players, because if you get screwed over by injuries, then at least everyone gets screwed over with you rather than you being screwed over on your own. I don't know. I think I definitely need to be more safe next season. Probably. Tim says, truthfully, I think it's being so friendly and matey. Hey, clues in the name. Maybe that doesn't resonate with some people. Andy, Let's Talk FPL is more matter of fact. That's valid. Yeah. Unfortunately, of all the things I can and cannot change, my personality is one I'm probably not willing to compromise on. Yeah, I get your point though. Nicholas says you should wear Red Star jersey. Is that right? Do you want to send me one? Hey, if you want to send me one, I'll take one. Maybe for that, my dreams don't always come true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely don't. Dreams do not come true. James says we'd like to see different chips introduced. Yeah, for sure. What's your current rank? 160k, which is not. It's not my best season, is it? I tell you what, if we could just get into the top 100k this year and just kind of just go ahead. Harley says something more interactive. I see what you mean, and I think when people, how do I say this? So when people watch content and give feedback on content, the first thing people will always say is, I want to be more involved with your content. Of course you do. You know, like as someone who consumes content, you want to be a part of it. And hopefully I can try and make you feel a part of it by having conversations like this, because you are. But when it gets to, like, you know, inviting people onto the channel or, you know, reviewing individual people's teams, the problem with that is the only people who you're appealing to is the specific person who, you know, is getting selected, I guess, or is being spoken to. So, you know, if, for example, if you say to me, yeah, I want to see you invite more of your viewers onto your channel to talk with them about their FPL teams. That sounds great until it's not you who's picked. Because I can guarantee, if you could say, all right, I want to make one change to FPL Mate. I want FPL Mate to bring more viewers onto the channel, whether that's reviewing their team, chatting with them about FPL. I want that to happen. And I said, yeah, okay, let's make it happen. The one condition is that you personally will never be that person. You will never be the person who gets to come on the channel. You will probably change your mind about whether you want that to be implemented. Because the fact is, really, it's not that you want people to be more involved in the channels, but you want you personally to be more involved in the channel. And that is completely understandable as a viewpoint. But we've got to make, we're here to really to make content for as many people as possible. And I think the way to do something like that would be, for example, if I was to just to do more membership stuff, for example, and we do members streams where we invite members on, where we do like Discord chats and Discord calls for members. I mean, I can't do it for everyone, so it'd have to separate somehow. I think that would work, but I don't know. Again, it goes back to the question of should you paywall content? Ollie says, what do you think went wrong for you this year compared to previous years? I was less lucky. People underestimate the importance that luck plays in FPL. Ultimately, if you play a bit more of a dangerous game, and I definitely do play more of a dangerous game of FPL, you are dependent on luck in order to get to the top. You know, every season I'll go in, and it will be a case of, Dan, you're either going to finish 243rd in the world, or you're going to finish 200,000th in the world. No in between. Well, sometimes in between. But last year, for example, first half of the season, I was like, what, 2 millionth in the world at like Gameweek 20, and then finished 30,000th in the world at the end of the season. In the second chance league that they did, I was like ranked like a couple of thousandth in the world in the second chance league, because the first half of the season I didn't get lucky. The second half of the season I did get very, very lucky. So there we go. I don't know. David says more collaborations. And John says longer videos per week. Well, I mean, might be happening next year. Don't want to give away too much. But some things may be happening next year. I'll tell you more about it soon, but things are already well underway. Have been for a few weeks now. Yeah, things will. There will be things. Might be some longer form content, maybe some collaborations involved there, and it might be might be costing me I may need to remortgage my house in order to fund this project, but we'll cross that bridge soon. Well, we'll do some announcements on that stuff soon. There will be things to be announced. John just says more underlying data. That's fair enough. Okay, we'll do that next year. Mauricio says invite only the best scorer of last weekend. Yeah, but I mean, come on. Can we be totally honest? Can we just be totally honest right now? How interesting do you think the average FPL manager is? Like, yes, someone could get an amazing score in FPL, but that doesn't mean they are good at talking. Doesn't even know they speak English as a first language or a second language or anything like that. It doesn't mean that they, are confident or charismatic or engaging, or even just know how to articulate some of the things that they are thinking or their processes within the FPL. And if they can articulate, can they articulate it in a way that is, well, like I say, engaging? And even if they are all of those things, do they have good camera quality? Do they have good internet connection? Do they have good microphone quality? Do they have good lighting? All of these things are what's needed, to play a part in content. So it's not as straightforward as that. As oh, mate, he scored well. Let's get him on. There's a reason why. If it was, people have kind of asked me about this before. If the only criteria for making FPL content is, being a bloody brilliant FPL manager, then why is there no, previous winners of FPL, like being, top content creators? There's none. I mean, there's some content. There's some people making contents, doing articles on various websites, maybe occasional guest appearances on various shows. But there really is so much more to making content. Like Matt in the chat, for example, says, "I'm ridiculously good looking, but have bad internet." The plight of the content creator. You need the good internet. Well, to be fair, I don't have particularly good internet myself. But there we go. John says, "I don't score well, but I'm an ex-streamer and can talk to a brick wall. Get me in." Fair enough. Daniel says, "How long does the updates last for FPL?" I mean, usually it should be done in the next, usually around 45 minutes, probably around there. Do something joint with other content providers, i.e. Andy, Raptor. I don't think, honestly, I think we need to give up on the FPL Mate Let's Talk FPL collab at this point. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that ship may have sailed by this point. A signed shirt to the best FPL player every month. Yeah, prizes would definitely, if we did we could do members prizes, but if I'm going to start giving out prizes, we do have to fund it somehow. So maybe entry into prize mini leagues for members, possibly something like that. I'm also Aussie, and we know how much Dan. Oh, I do love Australia and the Australian people. There we go. FPL Raptor really kicked on when he got Stormzy on with him. Who could you reach out to that has a following that will see a surge in subscribers? I don't really like doing that stuff though, man. It's not me. The schmoozing, the influencer kind of culture, I guess. I'm not going to drop into... I mean, Stormzy follows me on his FPL account on Twitter. I'm not going to send him a DM. That's so beggy. I can't do it. I can't do it. Not that it is beggy for other people to do it. I'm just not something I'm comfortable with. Yeah, I need to tread carefully here of what I'm saying. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. It's just not me. I can't do that stuff. KSI teach him to stop taking hits. Nah, man. Are you going to do FPL Challenge or have you given up on that? I think I've pretty much given up on it. I can't be bothered. It just doesn't interest me, if I'm totally honest. Oh, dear. Sometimes we've got to follow the trend, mate. I guess so. Viewers send their team. Oh, I think, judging by a lot of the stuff you're saying, we probably just need to do members content, don't we? Okay, I'll think about this. That's not me, one of Skepta's songs. Yeah, sorry, I got the wrong guy. John says KSI is actually a shower, but let's be real. Dan, you're doing great. 200k subs is amazing. Well, we're not quite on 200k yet. Go on. And it's not like you need to push numbers so much like an Arsenal stat, but yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm good. I'm good where we are. You do you. We like the show as it is. That's what we're here. Good point. You seem a little more deflated this season. BC, I'm not going to lie to you. I am. This season has really taken it out of me because I judge myself so harshly on my rank. So harshly. And it is worrying. You know, you have that feeling in the back of your head. If my rank takes too much of a hit this year, are people going to be back next year? And I know you guys will say, yeah, we'll be back, which is great. But a lot of people won't be. A lot of people will have already left. And that's another big reason, you know, why maybe views aren't quite as high as last year. I mean, it's negligible. It's like a 5% difference. But the rank does make a difference. And two ranks before this season were good. Very good. But if this season is a howler, and then the next season's bad as well, people are going to start saying, this guy does not have a clue. This guy doesn't have a brain. Brett says, let Mrs. FPL Mate do the presenting. She would not. Sam says, I don't even know your rank history. Ugh. Don't look past the last 4 seasons. That's all I'll say. Are you doing Euro Fantasy stream over the tournament? Yeah, we'll be doing Euro Fantasy stuff. We'll be doing Euro Fantasy stuff, no doubt. No doubt about it. It's a game of luck, mate. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah, but it's harsh. It's hard. Like, when you're making content, right? Okay, right. What's like an analogy for this? An analog. So like, say you're like a stock market trader. I know stocks are not completely luck, but then neither is FPL. Imagine 1 year you're doing your stocks as a stock market trader. I don't actually know all of the details of what stock market traders actually do, which is going to become very obvious as I complete this analogy. But yeah, if a stock trader had a year where, you know, things didn't go great, you know, a lot of their rivals, their colleagues were smashing it, and they just had a really bad year, maybe losing a few clients, whatever. They would naturally feel down about it, despite the fact that a lot of what they do is down to luck. It's just the nature of the game, isn't it? So there we are. John says, 1,200 happy people in the stream is better than 2,400 who don't get to talk to you, ask advice. I came for advice, stayed for personality. Others are a brick wall with stats in front of them. Thank you. I guess that's pretty sick. Let's be real. Membership content would be great, but watch time is not entirely based on members only. This could be great, but it also could go horribly wrong. I don't see how it could go horribly wrong. Like, it's not going to damage the main content. The main content would stay the same, but would just the members content would just be an addition, and it would probably be streams only, so it wouldn't take too much of my time other than the streaming itself. Hi Dan, please can you record on Euro FPL? What's it about? Would there be a Champions League FPL? There is a Champions League FPL. Euro Fantasy is it's a great game. The rules are slightly different to FPL, which makes it a little bit more exciting, and it's a little bit more involved, engaging. And if you want to do well on it, it's quite easy actually, because all you need to do is put more effort in. And it's a game that very much rewards people who are willing to put more effort and thought into it. It's structurally similar to FPL. You have 11 starting players, 4 players on your bench. But you can make in-play substitutions. You can change your captaincy, who's going to be your captain day to day. And well, certainly that's what it was the last couple of iterations of it. It's good fun, and you get to pick players who maybe you've never even heard of before, which is great fun. Which is great fun. Appreciate the kind words, by the way, guys, but I feel like at this point you guys are saying nice stuff, which I really, really appreciate, but I don't want to just keep reading out nice things about myself. That doesn't seem right. You should start doing knee-jerk streams. Well, we do our Monday streams, don't we? If there's a Monday game, we'll do a stream after that. Let's Talk FPL already does his knee-jerk streams. I don't know if there's a place for both, really. We'll see. But, yeah, Monday streams. I mean, I've not really been doing too many Monday streams recently. But we're kind of winding down. If we're totally honest, content is winding down a little bit now. Not as many people are super engaged with FPL at this time of the season. If there's nothing to say, there's no point in, just hammering the same content every day. Egg says, hey Dan, I'm here from Hong Kong. Just want to shout out to appreciate your video here. Helps me a lot each week by watching your videos. Thanks. Thanks to, FPL Juice, by the way, gifted you your membership. So congratulations on that. But thank you, Egg from Hong Kong. Let's fix that. No more Mr. Mice Guy. Get your rank up, pal. It's embarrassing. Hey, that's the kind of motivation we need. Honestly, would I appreciate that next season? You do streams, just remember. Let's see what we can do. If we did start doing let's put it this way, Mark and anyone else. If we were to do members stuff, I'd want to put some effort into it, which might involve, prizes, members-only mini-leagues, prizes, Discord servers that will need to be moderated, stuff like that. It may mean that the membership price might need to go up, because currently it's 99 cents in the US, 99 euros, 99 euro cent, 99 Australian dollars, 99 Australian dollar cents? What is an Australian dollar cent? Australian cent? I actually know what the cents are in Australian dollars. I don't know. But it's super cheap. It's really, really, really cheap membership here. And that was intentional. It's because I'm not giving anything. I'm not offering anything. But if it became a case where we have to put a lot of effort in and try and provide a genuine, I don't want to say service, but providing value and putting effort in, then the price would probably have to go up to reflect that. Now, at that point, would it still be worthwhile? Mark, not sure where you're from. Let's assume, I don't know, US? 99 AUD. No, I didn't mean that. It's not, the membership price currently is 99 Australian cent. I don't know what the cent is called. I don't know. Darth says, what other I would never charge 99 Australian dollars for membership. That would be ridiculous. That would be insane. It would be I don't know, 3 Australian dollars or something like that rather than 1 Australian dollar. You're from Malta. Okay, so what, euros? Currently it's 99 euro cent, right? Your membership? I mean, it's the cheapest that YouTube will allow you to put it. Cents is the correct term. All right. Anyway, Darth says, what other FPL content creators do you like to watch, Dan? And whilst I answer that question, we'll have a look and see if we can find any Everton news. The answer, my favourite, is the FPL Wire. So I like the FPL Wire. I like FPL Juice. I actually like the more podcasty stuff. I don't like the content I make is not the kind of content I like to watch at all. I much prefer the podcast style stuff. Watch Black Box occasionally as well. I watch usually podcasts, FPL podcasts, video podcasts, far more than anything else. So yeah, I would say my favourites are FPL Juice and the FPL Wire are my favourite FPL content creators to watch. Right, where are these lineups I've heard so much about? Has FPL reposted them yet, or do I have to go on individual pages? Looks like we have to go on individual pages. That's fine. Right, Pickford starts. Good news there for all Pickford owners, as does Branthwaite. Good news for all Branthwaite owners. Outside of that, it's pretty standard, really. Did anyone own any players outside of Pickford and Branthwaite? Make yourself known. I'm not expecting anyone to make themselves known right now, because who would own any other players? You just wouldn't. Luton. I wonder if Adebayo's starting. Kaminsky. Adebayo is starting. Morris is up there as well. Anya Dinma. Just 5 at the back. Barkley. Lokonga. Okay. You have Doughty. You have Kaminsky. Interesting. Okay, well, there you go. Not too much to talk about there. You have Decore, says Barissa. Decore. Wow. Don't see too many people with Decore. John Gattuso says, FML, I had Virginia starting over Raya this week. I think you'll be fine. I think Virginia probably stays on the bench. Ian, yes, I have considered doing a podcast once a week, but we'll talk about that another time. Right. Well, we've done the lineups. I think it's time to wrap up. Quite a boring game this evening. Hey, it's going to be me, a Branthwaite owner, praying for just Everton to not concede. I'll tell you what, it will be a far more interesting game week. First game, if Branthwaite somehow manages to score a goal. Oh my word. I will scream. If Branthwaite scores. Please. Oh, I love it. Anyway, yeah, let's wrap up, guys. Appreciate you guys joining me today. We've been streaming now for a couple of hours, over 2 hours. Crikey. But yeah, no, always good fun as always. Tomorrow, I'm gonna have a day off tomorrow. And then we'll be back on, because there's no deadline. There's no Saturday deadline, which means we get to have a day off on Saturday. And Sunday we'll be back. And I think I've got an idea for a video on Sunday. I think we're gonna do like a Gameweek 37 bench boost dream team type video. Yeah. So that's gonna go up on Sunday, and then we'll be doing pretty much regular content for the rest of the week. Going into the penultimate game week 37, guys. Absolutely mad. But for today, we're done until Sunday. So hopefully see you guys over on Twitter for some more chat and banter. And aside from that, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done already. And good luck this game week. Enjoy the football. And I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.